First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakal Kadash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who have taught me this truth, and a shout out to Yakin that's out there in the four quarters of the earth, proclaiming this truth, going into the streets of the city, of that great city that's known as Sodom and Egypt spiritually. Proclaiming this truth, risking your lives to do this, to teach this word, as we know that pretty much this place is a fallen kingdom. As we're seeing more and more giants, big-time corporations starting to downsize as well. You know, another brother from Chicago, Brother Malcolm, just did a video on how Starbucks is now closing 100 stores. You know, coffee shops, they're closing 100 of them. And, well, there's other places that I can name that also has downsized, you know. Reading used to have a couple Wendy's here, and then there's other fast food restaurants, man. We don't have as many of them anymore, you know, so that's beginning to close. KFC, that closed. It was replaced by Popeyes, so there are no KFCs here in Reading, you know, so they downsized that too. You know, so there's a lot of things that you don't hear about, but you know, if you're in a mid-town like Reading and all that, you kind of see this stuff first, you know, so so far we have like 3 or 4 Starbucks here, so I'm pretty sure that Reading, if they don't make the cuts this year, that they'll probably cut Reading next year because there's 150 more. So either way, this seismic giant, Starbucks, is now starting to lose. You know, they're having to downsize, you know, to try to get rid of unprofitable places. Well, I mean, you know as well as I do that there's a lot of people that are old school anyways that just like, I just want a fucking cup of coffee. I don't want any fucking cappuccino, frappuccino, you know, I don't want any of that other stuff. You know, they just want a regular cup of coffee, so they don't want to spend $7 or $8 for a cup of coffee, you know. You know, just quite simply put, you know, just go to the 7-Eleven or whatever and just refill their coffee, you know. A lot of people feel that way, you know, but it's just, what's happening though is people don't got a lot of money left, so they're not going to spend $7 or $8 for a coffee, you know, to get in the, and a lot of people just make it at home anyways, just buy the cappuccino mix and make it at home. Starbucks is way too expensive anyways, you know, and so, yeah, you know, pretty much it's happening, you know. A lot of places are downsizing, and we've been covering this for quite a while, ever since the beginning of this year, since Sears and Kmart announced, you know, that they were closing, and I found out that Reading was hit when I had seen a sign held up that store closing, you know, sign, right there at the Olive Garden where my wife works. You know, that's another one that may get downsized too, you know. So nothing is beyond being downsized. You know, this place, Reading, you know, had a Ruby Tuesdays, and then eventually that was gone. Ruby Tuesdays is actually a popular restaurant, but wasn't able to keep it in Reading. That got closed, became Cool Hand Luke's, and that only lasted a couple years, and then that was gone, you know. There's another place there now, but places don't last very long here in the Midtown because people just don't got the money. We've seen the fall of Mervin's. Radio Shack is gone, you know. Radio Shack is pretty much an online business now. So all these places are crumbling. And another funny thing, if you had caught my previous videos, had some comments on there, you know, it's like, well, aren't you white? And it's like, no, man, this thing's spiritual. You know, the Moors were Brits who go back to being Israelites. Well, I wasn't talking to another Israelite trying to explain that I'm a confusion of face. I was actually talking to an Edomite, come to find out. You know, and I should have been able to tell by the name. But anyhow, later on in the comments said that they are innocent. You know, that people that are alive now are innocent, you know, that they've never done any wrong. And in my video, I just pretty much had shown that this is what's going on in Syria now, you know, as well as, you know, Yemen and all these other places. And that pretty much Esau lies about everything, gets caught in their web of lies. Try to falsify evidence and say the Assad government is gassing its own people, just like they did with Saddam Hussein, you know. But nah, man, these Edomites ain't innocent. This generation, the last generation, the 3 generations before that, they've never been innocent. It's Cain and Abel all over again. This man hates us and wants to kill us. It's in their heart. It's always what comes out. Give them enough alcohol and all that. Say that you put on the attributes of being black, Latino, or Native American. You know, or you speak in defense of them. If you say you're a confusion of face and they don't know that, you know, and then you start speaking up for their rights, they're like, nah, man, I hate them fucking Mexicans. I hate them fucking goddamn Reds, you know, which that's a slur that they have towards Native Americans, aka Indians, you know, and just, you know, it goes on because he has a perpetual hatred. This is spiritual. This is in his nature. He is Cain, and we're Abel. So I'm going to read out of Isaiah chapter 47 as it's about the downfall of this place, America, Babylon the Great. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. That's another term because how it becomes virgin daughter, not because, they don't have sex, but virgin as in, you know, new breed, young woman, if you will, is what the term virgin means in this when you go back and you translate get it back. So, well, where did it come from? It came from England, you know, so America is also known as that virgin daughter from Babylon. Babylon, and eventually it became Babylon the Great. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. So that's, you know, naming where they originated, you know. For thou shalt no longer be called tender and delicate. That's right, because, you know, people now see that America is not the hero, and they're being exposed for that. Take thy millstone and grind meal. Uncover thy locks, make bare the leg uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. You see, it's being uncovered all the time that the United States is behind the funding of these terrorist groups. It's behind all these terror plots. Everybody knows that the Israeli state, Amalek, and the American government is who did 9/11, you know, 9/11. You know, that they were the ones behind it. So they can blame political enemies, which was Ishmael, you know, to say that, you know, they hijacked a plane and crashed it into stuff, you know. Which, no, man, those were drones anyways. Boeing 767, they were drones, man, that crashed into that. There's so much evidence showing that this was a staged event. The nakedness shall be uncovered. Yea, the shame shall be seen, and you see it. All kinds of 9/11 truther videos out there. All kinds of truther videos out there about the Boston bombing. All kinds of truther videos out there. But I know that Esau's taken them down. But there was a lot proving that Sandy Hook was nothing more than a hoax. That this event didn't take place. Even that fag bar that was shot up, that was all staged. It was all fake. You know, fake news. They're the fake news. So what do? They try to say that the alternative media is fake news. But it's not working. Is our Redeemer. The Lord of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Yasha'Allah, of Israel. Who is that? Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai B'Hashem Rakal Kadosh, which we proclaim that. Sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. In other words, pretty much people don't see America as a liberator. They're now looking to Russia as shield and helmet, and you know that because that's part of the prophecy, that they would be looking for Russia to protect themselves from America, Babylon the Great. I was wroth with my people. I have polluted mine inheritance and given them into thy hand. Thou didst show them no mercy upon the ancient. Hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke? And again, you know, he did give us over to this Babylonian kingdom because, you know, again, you know, we had to go into captivity because, you know, we weren't keeping law, statutes, and commandments, so we fell under them curses. But there was a time appointed for the so-called white man, the Edomites, to let us go. But he would not let thy people go. Again, like in Exodus, you know, these modern-day Egyptians, which are the Edomites, they would not let us go, you know. And thou sayest, I shall be a lady forever. You know, America thinks it's going to live forever. America will never be attacked, right? So that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. Therefore hear now this, that thou art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thine heart, I am and none else beside me. Is that not the American pride? That I'm American, damn it, I'm the best, and the best, the best, the best, you know. You know, you can't take that away from me, I'm an American, you know, and all that. I am none and none beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. You know, people think that this place is invincible, that it can never go down. It can never be attacked, you know. America's the greatest place on earth to live, right? We've been told that. But people are now starting to find out it's not the greatest place to live. It sucks. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. You know, pretty much what's going to happen is they're going to go overseas and fight their fucking wars, and they're not going to win. They're beginning to lose. And everybody sees America as the bully over there. You know? And that's what we see over here now, thanks to the internet. That's why they want to shut it down. They shall come upon thee in their perfection for the multitude of thy sorceries, which is what? Their media, you know? And everybody sees that for what it is, you know? Most people don't even turn on the mainstream news. That is those that are awakened. You know, yes, I know that the majority of people still watch this mainstream news, even though it's bullshit. But, you know, the majority of, you know, of the elect are not going to believe anything that they say. They know that they're lying through their teeth. And for the great abundance of thine enhancements. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thine heart, I am and none else beside me. So therefore, what's happening is America's been exposed. And they can't use their corporate media anymore to lie to the people, because people see right through it. You know, they'll turn it on, they'll be like, bullshit, that's not what's happening. I saw that on RT. That's bullshit. Assad, you know, these white helmets, they can't be credited, you know. People are seeing that, you know. And so, you know, and not to mention, another thing about this, though, is that the least of their flock shall draw them out. These Amalekites have been exposed big time for doing 9/11. You know, they're being exposed everywhere. You know, people know who the Rothschilds, Rockefellers is. People know who the Illuminati are now. They know that the deep state runs everything. This is no longer a secret. They cannot hide this. You know, so they're being drawn out and drawn into this war, and everybody knows that. Everybody knows that that there's really no interest in Syria, but they're terrorizing Syria anyways because they want to control the region, and everybody's sick of it. And so they're starting to rebel. This kingdom will not stand much longer. And we're starting to see corporations shut down. That's the beginning of the financial collapse, which they're doing it on purpose. Of course they are, because they want the chip system. And you know that's around the corner. You know that our people are being chipped now. You know, the Northern Kingdom especially. So you know that the Southern Kingdom's about to go through the same thing, you know. And, you know, you now got to prove that you're a U.S. citizen. You know, in order to do that, you've got to have identification. That's what's happening in these places. It's not going to be covered on the mainstream. That's their main sorcery. But it's happening, and it's there. These Walmarts are now detention centers, and that's now plain to see. So I hope this has been edifying, and like everything else, though, pray for this place to go down. And this being the year of prophecy, we're going to see a lot more. We're only halfway through the year. Shalom.